Warner Brothers Discovery have no faith in James Wan's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. But Warner Brothers Discovery and David Zaslav have plenty of faith in James Gunn. Why? What has he actually achieved since coming to Warner Brothers? The Suicide Squad flopped. Good film, but it flopped. Peacemaker was good and did better on streaming, but it's not like he's raised the roof or anything. What happened last time Warner Brothers didn't have any faith in a DC movie? Oh yeah, Joker made over $1 billion. They were so scared of the movie that they greenlit. Why greenlight something you don't even believe in? Dumbest studio in Hollywood, no matter who runs it, right? They even brought in some other investors because they didn't want to invest all the money. We're talking about a movie that didn't even cost $100 million to make. My point is, wouldn't it be really, really funny if Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom would be the first DCEU movies for years, one of the first DCEU movies for years to make bank, to make profit? Would it be funny if this movie actually makes $1 billion? Personally, I think it would be fucking hilarious. And I hope and pray it happens. Because in all decency, it should be James Wann who's the co-CEO of DC Studios instead of James Gunn. In all decency, it should be James Wann directing Superman Legacy and not James Gunn. Now, I was attacked on here yesterday by a subscriber or a floater or whoever he is, I've come across him before, saying I'm a James Gunn hater. I am not a James Gunn hater. I always said that James is a really good writer-director. A good writer-director, not a great one. Unfortunately, you James Gunn fanboys are just in an echo chamber. You don't understand. You think he's one of the best directors of all time. He's not. He never wanted to direct Superman Legacy. I bet you tonight's cheese that I have for dinner, I'm not having cheese for dinner tonight, but if I was, I'd bet it that James Wann would love to direct Superman Legacy. Of course, it would need a rewrite to be done in the huge way that Wann would want to do it. In terms of me saying that Wann should replace Gunn as co-CEO of DC Studios, he has great experience in producing things. He's got his own little production company. So he's got the experience to be a great co-CEO. Gunn is a really good writer-director. He's a bad CEO. He's already proved this. So I'm rooting for James Wann. In fact, I told him that I understood his decision to delay the release of the trailer because I understand he's a perfectionist and he liked my comment. Confirmation that it was right what I said yesterday, that it was because of James Wann that the trailer hasn't come out for so long. He doesn't want shitty CGI on something with his name on it, and quite right too. So I'm looking forward to a great movie, and I hope it wins for James Wann as well as Jason Momoa. I was watching the BTS for the first film on Blu-ray yesterday. It's great. Do you know that everything was built? All the sets, the buildings, everything was built. He even sat there trying to work out how hair would move underwater because they weren't really going underwater. I mean, they were in the tank now and again, but mostly it was green screen. Aquaman by James Wann is a great achievement. I don't care if you don't like the movie. Visually, it's a great achievement. I think it's a great movie. It's as simple as that. And if we can't have Zack Snyder, then James Wann is the next best thing because he loves big movies. And he was given the opportunity of a lifetime to make an Aquaman movie, and whoever chose him made the right decision. He killed it. He nailed it. And I think we are missing something that this guy isn't directing Superman Legacy. What I would say to James Gunn is, if you are to remain as co-CEO of DC Studios, at the very least, You know, because we know you don't want to direct this movie. You told us when you announced you were directing this movie, you told us that Peter Safran pressured you into it, that you didn't really want to commit 2.5 years of your life to a film that you really weren't motivated in doing. That's what you said to us, James. Right or wrong? Am I misquoting you? No, I am not. You said it from your account on Twitter. That's a fact. So, James, what I would say to you, if you still feel this way, knock on James Wan's door while you're giving him more and more notes in an attempt to basically lighten up his movie and make it bad, and say, James, I don't really want to direct Superman Legacy. Will you do it? You've given a lesser director like Andy Muschietti the opportunity to direct Batman the Brave and the Bold. I don't believe that's a thing. I think you just did that as part of the hype for the Flash movie, and of course that didn't work. I actually think that James Wan could make one of the best Superman movies we've ever seen. And my opinion on James Gunn is, and it's not hate, it's not bitterness, it's not an agenda. I don't believe he's capable of even writing a good Superman film. Because from what I can see already, we're going to see a lot of cameos of his DCU characters, right? But will we get a Superman story? Will this be Superman's movie? He claims it will be. That's what I want. People are saying, well, you haven't seen what he's going to do. But isn't it important, everyone, to speak out now, before the damage is done, instead of wait and see? We've done wait and see already. We've done wait and see with Shazam! Fury of the Gods. We've done wait and see with the Flash movie. We've done wait and see with Blue Beetle. How many more wait and sees do you want me to do? This is DC. I'm sick and tired of us being a laughingstock. And James Gunn isn't the right person to make a Superman movie. Because I'll say what I've said before and what I said to that person in the comments yesterday on the premiere of yesterday's video. I don't believe that James Gunn even likes Superman. And that's a problem to me. And if the miracle did happen and James Wan did direct Superman Legacy, you can still keep the casting for Clark Kent and Superman in David Corenswet, and of course the young woman who's going to be playing Lois Lane as well. Keep that. Nothing wrong with them. That's good casting. I mean, Gunn probably didn't even cast them. Probably the studio was in charge of the casting for that movie. I'd be very interested how much in control of this movie he is. Because micromanager David Zaslav really believes in Superman being the first movie in DC Universe. We're getting a Superman movie because Lord Zaslav wants a Superman movie. And what they're going to give you is Christopher Reeve's Superman the movie, Stroke 2. This is what they believe will make money. But unfortunately, we're not in 1978 anymore. You need someone who understands modern audiences. And if you like it or not, James Wan delivered an Aquaman movie. Yes, an Aquaman movie. A character that was poked fun of for years. He made an Aquaman movie that made over $1 billion. So the success is undeniable. Yes, I believe James Wan would make a much better co-CEO of DC Studios than James Gunn. I believe he would direct a much better Superman Legacy movie than James Gunn. And it'll be interesting how many of you watching this video agree with me. If you believe that James Wan should be co-CEO of DC Studios instead of James Gunn, if you believe he should be directing Superman Legacy instead of James Gunn, smash the like. Smash the like button if you agree with me, so I know if I'm onto something here. So this will be very, very interesting how you, my viewers and my subscribers, the people I value most on the internet, because it's all about this YouTube channel for me. Yes, I do other stuff on other platforms, but it's here. I like to talk slowly and take my time because I know you want meat on the sandwich. You don't want me just to say hello and goodbye within 5 minutes. And I very rarely do it. I do it sometimes if there's not enough time in the day to do a lengthy video. But this was something I really want to talk about. But I will go deeper about this James Wan thing that I have in my head. Why was Matt Reeves and Todd Phillips approached to be CEOs of DC Studios when it was pretty obvious they were going to say no? They would never take a gig like that in a million years. I bet you $1 billion, yes, $1 billion, the exact amount of money that Joker and Aquaman made, that James Wan would bite Zaslav's head off. No, bite his hand off, should I say. That made no sense, did it? But would bite his hand off to be CEO of DC Studios, to direct a Superman movie. And I think he would do a much better job than James Gunn. James Wan is a much more talented man, right, in terms of being a director than James Gunn. He's a better producer than James Gunn. James Gunn doesn't have much experience in being a good producer. Yeah, you'll see his name in certain things, but that's just a name. That's just a credit. James Wan has actually produced stuff that he hasn't made. And he's been there. And he's actually produced stuff within the banner of his production company. We know that James Wan has directed excellent horror movies. And he did an excellent job with Aquaman. Come on, everyone. This is common sense. Why didn't Zaslav go after Creepy Puppet, as he calls himself on Instagram? It doesn't make sense to me. He's perfect to be the CEO of DC Studios, and he's perfect to direct Superman Legacy. And that's exactly the direction I would be going in.